at 7:05, we'll call the meeting to order. And since we're gonna wait for Mary to come, we probably could go ahead and take a look at our decision. She wasn't even here for that, I don't think, would she? Do you wanna do that first?
With our decision, we talked.
This was the, oh, excuse me, actually, it's not a decision, it's just our minutes. It's just our minutes. Sorry, you're right, it's not.
Good. Because then I wouldn't have been prepared. Because I haven't read it.
Right. I read this, I think, right when we
When
said
is that
it.
sent around?
It was sent right after the
Yeah.
meeting.
They looked good to me.
Yeah, I thought it was fun.
Right. Oh, this was from months ago. Now
That's the date on it. That's the date of the.
Cause yeah, last meeting we
this
didn't
was
have.
December 13th, minutes that we need to.
It was
approve.
talking about a subdivision up on Country Club Road.
Yep,
Yeah.
I see that. Do you have any updates on that?
They're still looking into like the possibility of doing a PUD and stuff,
Okay, great.
but they're also to have to upgrade the farm road to a driveway block. Hooped on.
Yep, well, does somebody wanna make a motion?
Yeah. I'll move to approve the minutes.
We need a second. Oh,
Sure.
yeah, a second.
Yeah, all right, thank you, all in favor, say
Aye.
aye, all
Aye.
right, we've done that. What happened to Mary?
Mary's on the, she's talking.
Oh, she didn't wanna come inside.
Hi, Mary.
Bust.
Well, Mary is here, so
We can start.
who's you're taking minutes, right?
Kristen.
Yes, thank you. All right, well then, I'm a little out of practice, and it's new to have both things. While I will call the hearing of Alicia Weiss and Philip Parisi for their zoning permit application 2024-07 for a 2-story 10-foot by 12-foot extension with mudroom off kitchen. Historic site plan review. So that's why we're here. So Karen.
Excuse me, just a quick question. So this is also part of the historic review, so that's not something separate?
Right,
Okay, and I guess the one thing, and I don't know where I got this from, but was there another permit application for the historic piece that I was supposed to submit? So I submitted everything?
You've done-
Okay, great, all right, just wanted to make sure because
and
just
yeah.
get myself crazy if I don't do something.
And to be clear, Karen, you could, this is a permit that you could approve,
Right,
but you brought it before the DRB because of its historic, it's on the historic register. And we should look at the historic register information in our zoning. We haven't adopted our new zoning
no,
regs
we
yet.
haven't, and I did attach, I think, or put on your table exactly what, the 4414 F.
24 VSA, 44.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah.
that around.
Wow.
But I made a copy of it.
Oh, you did? Well, maybe it's under here, maybe, no. That's-
Was attached to your email.
Yeah.
I think attached to, was attached to the email of March 30.
Well, while you're looking for that, anybody, Phil,
Yep.
we need you to, since you're here for a hearing, you gotta.
Shall I stand up?
No, you're.
No Bible, no
No
Quran,
Bible, just-
no anything, okay.
And just to affirm that you hereby affirm that the evidence you give in the cause under consideration shall be the whole truth, nothing but the truth under pains and penalties of perjury.
Oh, yes,
I do.
absolutely.
Great.
So one of the things that become difficult is that, there's the village district, historic district. And then there's these houses that are outside the village district that are on the registry. So
May I just, well, I do this, but is the village district like where Creamery Road is here and then along Route 2 and the Brook Road in terms of the actual village? Because we have a 1974 survey before the 266 Main Street was sold off. And there's on Maple Hill Road, it says to village and right in front of our house, so.
Right, well, that could be a boundary, but Karen says it's on the historic registry.
For the ones outside of the
Village.
village, okay, so the Plainfield Village Historic District is different than the zoning village district. So that's where the confusion comes, and the Historic Society doesn't seem to have the records of this other that I need to talk to them about, because they really are only been focusing on the village. And
Well, I'm confused, because you said there's the village, and then there's the village zoning, and then there's the historic
right,
district the historic registry outside of the village.
the village, Plainfield Village Historic District.
Which is all of Plainfield. No,
It is all of Plainfield except for the village
historic.
district.
And where does this property lie? Outside the
It
village.
lies outside,
And then Karen,
It lies outside of what?
the village district,
historic district,
historic district.
Lies outside of the village historic district,
historic, but in the village district,
it's in the village district.
yes,
For purposes of zoning, it's in the village district, for purposes of historic preservation, it's outside.
yes.
Thanks.
And tell us the difference between the historic village preservation rules and parameters and the outside. And we have none really, right?
None.
Right, and historically, this was what, assembled by people who were interested in preserving historic buildings and making sure that when they were renovated, that there was a community discussion about it. Is that what the origins
I
of
don't
these?
really know why, but it was Jane Linwall, but she's the one, used to be, lived up on where Andrews has the house now, it used to be Steve Pappas. She was one of the people copying, can't think of copying, Paul, copying's first name. There were the three people that went around and randomly put these things on historic.
So I have a question then, if this is outside the historic district,
Up to the Plainfield,
the Plainfield
village.
Village Historic District, why does 24 VSA 4414 apply to this?
It applies to it because it's on the historic registry.
Because the house itself.
Yes.
Okay, thanks.
So, yes, let's take a look, this is a state statute, right, in which our town has adopted.
Right.
Correct, so I just want everybody to know the landscape we're dealing with.
Okay, sounds good.
So, look, so this, I'll just read it, F, local historic district and landmark. Bylaw may contain provisions for establishment of historic districts and designation of historic landmarks. Historic districts shall include structures and areas of historic or architectural significance and may include distinctive design and landscape characteristics, area and structures with a particular relationship to the historic and cultural value of the surrounding area and the structures whose exterior architectural features bear a significant relationship to the remainder of the structure or the surrounding area. All right, if I think that you understand, it kind of just goes on like that. It's about cultural significance and architectural and historical landmarks. So we get to look at this building and basically we shall be strict in our, we can be strict in our judgment of plans for those structures deemed to be valuable under the subdivision of this section. F1I, which we just read. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not required to limit new construction, alterations, or repairs to architectural styles of any one period, but may encourage compatibility with new design. Okay, I'm gonna read two. If an application is submitted for the alteration of the exterior appearance of a structure, for moving or demolition of a structure deemed to be significant, we shall meet with the owners of the structure and devise an economically feasible plan for the preservation of the structure. And that's where we are. So we went and had a site visit, and I'd love to hear somebody else speak to what they feel about this,
What, you need somebody else on the board or?
other than me, yeah, like Mary or you.
Okay, so I would say that based on the description of what they're planning to do, which is to extend the building by 10 or 12 feet.
12
feet, and then have that extension mirror the appearance of the existing building in all respects that are relevant, as far as I can tell. I didn't think that it had any kind of adverse effect on the overall appearance of the historic appearance of the building or generally from any of the criteria that are listed under 4414, section II, there's a list of criteria you're supposed to use. And I looked through those and I thought that it met all.
Great. Anybody else have anything they wanna add to that, Mary? You're on mute. You're still on mute.
Maybe she's muted on our end.
Can you unmute her? No? You can ask her to unmute.
You're still muted, Mary.
There we go.
PR?
Yes, it was being very unresponsive. I agree with Jim. I don't have access to all those conditions, but I agree. The renovation looks like it'll match, and I think it's looks good.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add. I agree as well. I mean, if anything, it sounds like the intent here is to preserve the look of the house and the historic appearance and enhance it where possible to bring back some of the features that have been damaged over time. So
Yeah, we're very much into keeping it as it was, just a little bigger.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think that was good.
Yeah, I like how you're going to use the decorative elements and continue to keep them and repair them. That's wonderful.
Yeah, we always love those corbels, absolutely,
Yeah.
and, you know, we don't wanna lose anything. And, you know, since we're gonna spend a lot of time in the backyard, we'll get to see them in the back, which is not a historical precedent for an Italianate Victorian building to have the decoration in the back, because it was all about the front. But we wanna make it a complete 360-degree renovation and in a sense a restoration to what it would have been like in 1889 without, now we don't have the train station,
Mhm.
which I'm upset about. That's okay.
I actually think the plan is an improvement over what the house looks like right now.
Well, thank you, thank you. Don't take this as that. We were never great landscapers. What little we had is pretty gone.
And the raised beds will be improved too.
All right, any other comments before we make somebody wanna make a motion?
Sure, I move we approve the application. Is that what's it called?
Yeah, I think we,
Well, you just.
The zoning permit application.
You,
Well, we
right
don't-
in the back here.
we don't actually approve the permit because that's her
Oh,
job,
okay.
but what
Right
we do.
here.
What kind of fee?
It's basically,
Uh,
you're down here. So you're basically approving the plans.
we are.
Okay, we're going to
Right.
approve the plans
Right,
submitted as part of this permit application.
yeah.
Seconded and all in favor, Mary?
I second.
All right, Mary seconded.
Okay.
All right then, so I will sign this and you're,
And then I do the permit and nobody's here to appeal your the decision, so there's not like the whole waiting for this and that.
Don't have any drama.
Okay.
right.
So nobody can appeal it, so you don't have to wait 30 days.
Great.
So it'll
So,
be another 15 days for that. No one came to hear and I can't imagine that they'll
Oh.
appeal my permit, but.
okay, great.
Well, it was nice to meet you.
Yes, thank you.
Thank
Yes,
you.
Always wondered who bought that house after Jay and Kimberly left.
yeah, and I know Kim used to live in, she moved into town and now she's in Montpelier, so. But she's not at the health center anymore. And we don't wanna go down there, cause that was not a good thing. I love John Matthews, but maybe John needs to retire.
Town politics, here we go.
No, we're not gonna talk about the 3 votes on the school budget either, so.
Oh, it did pass.
3 votes.
It did pass. They
Right.
recounted.
No, it has to be.
Yeah. I love John. I've known John since I was a wee Goddard student. I love John. Matthews.
Yes, my father helped John get started with it.
No, I mean, he built an amazing situation here,
Yeah.
but you know, sometimes. You have to let your baby go sometimes, you know?
We'll talk about that after you redo your house.
Okay, great. I want to see your Victorian living room. We have a Victorian parlor that we're working on that. We have a lot of Victorian stuff too.
I love Victoria.
Yeah, we do too. But thank you.
Thank you.
I was a little nervous, I'll admit. I had a little stress this morning, so, but the unknown.
Yeah.
And we're not only investing our money in this, but we're investing our emotion in this as well, because we are giving up a few inside things that, to make our lives better. We're getting older, it's harder to keep things clean. We're trying to look for stuff that's easy to maintain in the midst of expanding stuff. Plus, we also want to make it nice for our dogs and our cats, because they're really important. Especially Mish.
No, I know, actually, this is one of the most well-prepared, historic site plan reviews, so.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you.
The design, there's no difference. We didn't have to make any adjustments based on roof lines or anything, so it's actually a pretty good one.
Thank you, thank you.
It's fairly easy construction, it's a big box with a few little curls.
I'm sure it's got a lot of these.
That's a figure of speech.
Well, I'm looking forward to sitting out there and trying not to freak out as it gets bigger. As it comes down and moves out, so. It was a big decision for us to decide to do that. We spent a lot of time talking about that. But those two rooms that just were completely unusable, really, they just became mostly storage. And we're at a point where we need to be able to move around and do things, and while we still can.
I have a full mudroom and a full pantry on my old house.
Yeah.
And, so having yeah.
Well,
My kitchen has no space, no cupboards, but I have a nice little.
Oh, we have Dennis's mom's old kitchen in our kitchen. We bought it from Sylvia Doyle. When Sylvia had the antique store.
The brick house, yeah, I worked with Ellen Codling, who was Sylvia's partner, and we had a Goddard open house, and I'm driving to it at some ungodly hour on a Saturday morning. I see this thing, and it's detached from the wall, so it's sort of listing over on the lawn. And I called Philip and I said, "Get over there right now and buy that." So
we've got a little bit of. We had Dennis in our house for a really long time, and now Dennis is really in our house for a really long time. No, it's been a generally a good experience. So, and then this is nice. Thank you. We got to meet some people in town, and so that's good too.
Yeah.
May I ask a
We
question?
just wait for you to send us the permit, and we post it where those little signs are down at the bottom. Okay, yeah, I took pictures of that. I came in and I was like, oh, look at that. So.
I almost forgot to do it, which would have been a bad plan, but anyways.
Yeah.
There's a long list of things you have to do, and sometimes it's hard to keep them all straight.
Oh, yeah, that's true, that's true.
I have a question. The zoning permit or whatever, the application lists the property at 296 or 295 Main Street.
Yes,
Is that an error?
no,
I thought it was 245 when I drove there.
No, it's 296.
Okay.
Yeah, we have the 911 sign that says 296.
It's about that big.
And those little green signs.
Yeah.
The house in front of us is 266, we're 296.
Okay.
We started out, I don't know what number we were on when we were Maple Hill Road.
I
And
don't
then
think we had a number.
Oh, okay, then we went to Main Street Extension. And I don't know, that didn't go well. People for some reason didn't like the Main Street Extension. People were confused, so then they just made it Main Street. So and that's where Main Street
Okay.
America.
not it, it's
Okay.
a lot better than upper, lower, and middle road.
I must have read the sign wrong. Okay.
I'm sorry, but that's not what road should be named.
Are you on Middle Road?
Well, I don't live on it anymore, so I don't.
I live on Country Club.
I'm sorry?
I live on Country Club Road.
Oh, okay.
They
Oh.
should be renamed too.
Oh my God, the Country Club Road, when the first floods. I driving home from the train station and it's telling me that Route 2 is closed and go on country, it's pitch black out. Go on Country Club Road and there was one sign to go to Country Club Road and I had never driven on Country Club, I had no idea where I was going. So I wound up going to whatever the road is right past 10, with a house that's sort of going like this on the riverside and it goes over the first road.
John Feller Road.
Yeah, that's right, John Fowler Road, your father's road, your uncle's road or somebody's road. But anyway, I went that way because I knew I could get back that way, but I had no idea. And then there was never any signs. I called and complained. I don't usually do that though, but
It didn't do any good though.
no, it didn't because it didn't matter.
I mean, there aren't any
That's-
signs.
That's
No.
Marshfield.
I'm sorry?
It's Marshfield.
Oh, that's the whole problem then.
Right.
Well, no,
Yep.
but if you grew up here, you know how to get from Barry to Plainfield on the Country Club Road or the upper road or the middle road.
But I did find out how to go through the back way when Route 2 was closed to go to Lindenville, so I even figured out Neighbors Road by Twinfield.
Just, yeah.
That because somebody who grew up here, who lives and works in Lindenville told me about that, so. Yeah,
Oh, well.
I get on, I like not the dirt roads, I killed a Toyota Corolla on a dirt road. Cause when we lived in East Callis, just like totally trashed us. But anyway, no, thank you so much.
Okay, thank
Yeah, it
you.
was very nice to meet everybody. All right, so I guess,
Yes.
okay, well, nice to meet you, I'll go around this way. Mary, I'm shaking your hand, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, yeah.
All right, so we'll.
Thank you.
Okay, so now we're on the next phase, all right,
Okay.
Karen,
Okay.
thanks so much.
You're
Thank
All
you.
right. We'll look forward to hearing from you, Alicia, I'll call you in a little while.
Okay, yeah, thanks, everyone, and thanks for all the good correspondence, Karen, appreciate it.
You're
Bye-bye.
welcome.
All right, thanks, everybody, have a nice night, be safe.
Before we adjourn, I wanna know what the town is gonna do about finding us a new zoning administrator.
Well, first of all, Karen has to get back together and put it in a letter.
Okay,
But I think they're gonna put,
Okay.
they're gonna put it in the town.
Happy for you, I'm not happy for me.
Well,
For me.
I'm not even sure. I need a break,
I know,
so.
I know, it's hard.
I mean,
Take a sabbatical.
well, you know, I have been thinking about that, but once you train a new person, I mean, I don't know, this will ultimately have to happen if I resign and you don't have a new one. Then the planning commission's chair usually becomes the next zoning administrator.
He's been the zoning.
Commissioner, yeah, usually because of that.
Planning commission chair, okay, who's that now, but it's.
That's Will.
Will.
No, I've been there for 20 zillion years. No,
And
yes,
speaking of planning commission, when do we see our new zoning?
you know, I think I
Unified zoning regulations.
it got finally reviewed
By.
by the central law.
Yes,
So that was
Those
yeah.
kerfuffle around there,
Okay,
yes,
so
yes.
everything's going to, well, we're on
We know
that.
that. Uh-huh.
And so. You can. We had to make some adjustments because they are now, you can treat marijuana. Cannabis, yes, cannabis, as agricultural outside.
Oh, is that a state rule?
Well, like they decided that that's how we're going to interpret it.
Oh, good. I like
And-
that. That
Well,
makes
except for how big a outside,
Outside
because
acres.
what's
Doesn't the
happening,
state regulate that?
no.
They have
We have, there's different
different
levels.
levels of licensing.
And so then, we made it so that you can do certain tiers and certain tiers in certain areas.
Okay.
and
Okay.
both manufacturing and
growing.
and a variety of things. There's a difference if it's a home occupation inside a house.
Yeah.
It gets the same sort of treatment as a home occupation, it's not cannabis,
Okay,
but, yeah, they're.
close to.
Well, I think,
Select
I think it was getting put into, but it was getting put into the draft and it should be going to, hearings. I really would prefer just went to select board and do and did interim zoning, but, Will was thinking to do the whole hearing part. I think some of the
Okay.
things that's gonna be really hard is like the lighting and,
The what?
lighting, like,
That hasn't changed, has it?
well, but greenhouses can be light all the time.
Oh, you're talking about cannabis.
Yes, like, you know what I'm saying, so like,
Right, but we have lighting ordinances, so we can use those, can't we?
but not if it's a home occupation.
Why not? Cause any kind of light that's,
It'd have to be outdoor lighting, and it'd have to go under the outdoor lighting one, and it would have to be like interfering on the road or something.
right,
Yeah, like,
no.
you can drive around Hall of Plainville and people's outside lights are.
I know, we talked about that last month, how it's like
So-
shining in my yard across the river.
So, I mean, yeah, there's some concern, I think, statewide that
About lighting.
lighting and also like really about, just remember how big of having a farm of hemp up on the road and how, the smell.
Yeah.
But but now we're gonna have fences and we're going to have.
Electric fences.
Right, we're gonna have fences and we're gonna have security and a whole different sort of, around these agricultural places, so there's going to be,
Because it's so valuable.
right.
Yeah, it's not like a field of corn where someone steals a stalk of corn, who cares? Yeah.
Right, or like even the hemp, I mean, people
Yeah.
weren't really
Right.
hemp or either, the CBD oil or any of that. So I mean, I wonder what would happen, say if,
My guess is it'll become a commodity that isn't gonna be worth stealing because it's easily accessible,
right,
my guess.
but I just imagine, can you imagine having a whole entire cannabis operation on Ed Fowler's / who.
It'd be a little overwhelming.
Did.
Yeah,
Well,
everybody just be getting contact high.
I don't know, but I don't know, it's just, I think the state,
It's gonna have to deal with that and health.
yeah, I mean, I think that we're just, they decided to pass it, they didn't really,
That's one of the couple of places that'll probably have to continue to work.
yeah, but. It has been hard to get things done because, the Central Vermont Regional Planning Commission has its own shakeup,
Right, that's what you're saying, yeah. Yeah,
so.
and
But
you have,
Yeah,
how many select board members do you have, for 3?
we have 3,
Okay.
and Patty, Jamel,
Jamali,
yeah.
and
is
you.
new, and me and Tim Davis.
But hopefully I would hope that after we get through town meeting.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
I
that's
put that in my calendar, when
Oh,
is that?
We don't know yet. We
Yeah,
haven't
okay.
decided. We're deciding tomorrow night.
And so,
Okay,
and then, hopefully when we get that step done, maybe
Yeah.
we can really get into the zoning. So, I mean, that's what.
and you're not leaving anytime soon, and what do we have moving forward, nothing that you see yet?
I
Anything?
thought
We
you
still-
said sometime soon.
I was thinking at the end, I'd like to be done sometime
This
middle
summer?
to end of June,
Oh, that's
Yeah.
early.
Yeah,
yes. I think. There's nothing really on the horizons except for the appeal of my.
Right,
word-
which we hearing,
Any
Which one
word
is
from
this?
the childcare place?
No, it's the appeal of my permit of storage shed,
in a wetland.
In a wet area.
Yeah, in a swamp. Nancy, Mary, I had asked about that, that was the decision, or excuse me, the minutes from December 13th.
Okay,
And they're looking into, potentially a planned unit development.
Okay, good. Okay. Thank you.
I mean, I am getting a lot of inquiries, someone was, I've had 2 inquiries about, building fences on. The property line that are, over 4 feet.
Right.
Or 6 feet.
And that needs to come to us.
And then needs to come to you and, I answer a lot of inquiries and tell them about what they need to do, but sometimes a year goes by before I get a response, but I was assuming we would be having a couple of fence hearings soon, but I haven't heard anything. Yeah, well, they don't like, people don't always like the answers to the questions. So,
Well, anything else?
Awesome.
Take a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Thank you, everybody. I wanna ask about Goddard. I know now you have to go if you want, but I got an email